Set the hook. Set the hook. Set the hook. Set the hook.
Go. Hi everybody, I'm Dustin Allinger. I'm the inventor of this product, the world's first live video fishing system, and I'm the founder of a company called RealView Fishing. Fishing with video is not a new concept. There's a lot of products that look like this, right? It's a tube camera, you tie it on the end of your line. The issue with cameras like this is that you cannot view what is happening in real time. You cannot watch the camera feed in real time. This is a recording device. You throw it out there under the water, it is recording. You don't know what it's recording until you retrieve it, bring it above the water, and then review everything that's happened. So fundamentally, this is a cinematography device. What I wanted many years ago was a live feed. Being able to observe what's happening in real time completely changes the whole experience, right? Because now you can react, you can interact with the fish. Today, I'm gonna walk you through our product, the RV1, our technology, and take you down to Florida for one of our first field testing trips off Islamorada in the Florida Keys. So we booked a trip to Florida, right, to do some field testing. We brought everybody, we brought the whole team, all the engineers, booked a house together and booked a week down there in the Florida Keys. We had some goals, and one of them, of course, was, can this thing catch fish? That was the biggest question of all. I had certainly caught plenty of fish on these prototypes that I built in my apartment, right, but these were different things, and we wanted to get offshore into the environment where, people are really gonna use this product and understand, is it up to the task? Can this actually catch a fish? We wanted to know what bugs are there in the product, The best way to discover bugs is to get out there and use this thing. And we needed to know if there were shortcomings, if there were things we missed, if there were things we needed to correct or modify. Finally, we really wanted to get this into the hands of real fishermen, right? People who are not electrical engineers, people who are not familiar with eLine or RV1 or any of this stuff. We wanted to hand it to them and see, will they use this? Can they use this? We had booked a charter on a boat called the Vice Versa, which is a big, it's an awesome boat. It's 42-foot Freeman. It's a real offshore fishing boat. This is a real serious charter, right? I mean, these guys are targeting not only big grouper on the bottom, but sailfish and wahoo. If we can get on the Vice Versa and we can land fish with this technology, wow, we've really got something. We thought let's get out there and really put it to the test. But the next morning we got there, and I can recall it's like 6 in the morning, nobody's really had coffee, everybody's a little quiet, and I'm trying to walk these guys through, like, this is electrical fishing line.
So we were just live drifting the filters yesterday.
On this?
Yeah, it works great. You can see it stays in frame pretty well.
Just with a stretch of line behind it?
And there's certainly some head scratching, certainly some skepticism. These are like hardcore charter fishermen in Florida, and I think they looked at us like, who are these boys from New England with this little toy that they brought? We got out there, they were very accommodating and very willing to work with us. There was a moment, right? I asked Tyler, I said, can we just put some lead under this camera? I'm gonna drop it to the bottom. And he said, okay, so we just tied on some lead and I dropped the camera. Instantly, right? Instantly, there was like something that clicked in everybody's head.
Dude, we have the Garmin as a TV down here. Beanie, can you see? Dude, I would just hop down here. This is pretty sick. Oh. Two Goliath groupers.
And we were actually watching this, not just on the phone. So the base station here is a wireless access point, right? Any iOS or Android device can fire up the RVF app and watch the video. But what you can also do, right, is run a dongle out of the phone here, an HDMI to Lightning converter, right? So now you've got an HDMI output, and on the Vice Versa, they have these incredible Garmin displays, probably like 30 grand worth of displays. So we plugged the phone in over HDMI to these displays, and now everybody on the boat can watch. I think there must have been 4 or 5 of these huge Garmins.
Holy, dude, look at this.
He's like, all right, I'm done hearing about it.
That's a nice black.
Look at the freaking, there's like 6 of them down there. This is crazy. Dude, it's fucking insane how many black groupers are here. I might just hop down there with a spear gun and just shoot them all, honestly.
Everybody can watch the feed on these big displays, and it creates this campfire experience where everybody gathered around. We just had one guy fishing, and everybody else in the boat was watching their bait, watching their RV1 feed. It was another big moment for us where we realized there's more opportunity here for the business. There's something special going on here, right? Where there's just this shared fishing experience, and it's really like a shared underwater discovery experience.
Well, what are those guys?
These are parrotfish.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lemon shark. Oh,
Oh.
that's a cobia.
That was a cobia.
Let him eat that. If he eats that, catch him.
Goliath, black grouper, nurse shark.
Get that away from him.
Oh, Jesus.
Whack that thing. Oh, Goliath's gonna eat it. I would just want it away now. Yeah, cobia's in the shark. Well, we're down here on a reef, and we got the camera down on a chicken rig with some ballyhoos, and I never knew there was that many grouper down here. I didn't. For a long time, I thought they were gone because you just don't catch them with rod and reel. Oh, lemon shark's eating it right now. One, get him, go. Oh, you got a shark. Had a shark. All right, we're good. Goliath grouper. False alarm. But yeah, usually down here fishing rod and reel, we don't catch a lot of groupers because we just don't have an eye for them really. But now that we know where they are, we might have another chance to catch more.
They don't mark it on just traditional sonar?
The thing is, the other fish outcompete it, and then during the season for groupers, the spear fishermen, they outcompete the rod and reel fishermen. Because you go down there and it's very selective, and you shoot them, and the groupers are very smart. Like, as you can even see here on the camera, like, they're very picky on what they want to eat because they see the line, they see the hook. They want the bait really bad, but they're just too skeptical about it, I feel like.
Getting back to our goals here, first goal, can we catch fish? Second goal, what bugs are in these prototypes? What bugs are there? Well, we were about to discover a very major bug. I was building electronics for the underwater environment, and I understood, because of that, the physics involved with communications. Communications underwater are a big problem. Specifically, wireless communications underwater are a big problem. Above water, you can get a signal from a cell phone tower 10 miles away and get incredible data rates that allow you to do video streaming and all these things. But underwater, nothing like that is possible. Wi-Fi connections last, they'll transmit about this far underwater. So it'd be great if you could get a Wi-Fi connection to a camera like this, but you can't. The only way to get around this problem is to use a cable, a wired solution. So this is really the heart of our technology. This is the secret sauce. This is my life's work. This is what makes fishing with live video possible. This is electrical fishing line. This thing has over 50 pounds of braking strength. This is your mainline fishing line. And what this connects to is this camera here. We just got this new batch of a couple dozen DVT units. These are pre-production. This is what we'll take to mass production. So it plugs into this camera, with a watertight, very strong seal. I won't get into the details. And this camera now is sitting at the end of your line. You tie your leader on to either of these attachment points, and now your camera is looking back at the leader. And so there is a wired connection from this base station through this cable into this reel, down this eLine to this camera, and that's how we get around this problem of underwater signals not working. It was around this time that we discovered, unfortunately, that we had this Achilles heel in our design that we didn't know about until we got to Florida with everybody and all the gear. The connector from eLine to camera had this flaw. If you put too much force on it, the connector failed. Now, it didn't break apart, but you lost the signal. And so this meant if we wanted to catch these fish, the only way to do it and maintain the video feed was going to be to keep the drag incredibly light, probably like a pound or less. And this really set the stage for a very challenging week of trying to learn everything we could about the product with, with this issue, which of course has since been corrected, but with this issue that we were fighting the whole week. And so I dropped down, watched a grouper for a long time, maybe 30 seconds. He was in the field of view, sort of just hanging around near the bait. And I could see him start to change color. He was sort of going from light to dark, like a chameleon changing color. It was pretty wild, actually. As he got closer and closer, and when his color was at its boldest point, he grabs the bait and he runs. Here we go.
Oh, set the hook. Set the hook. Set the hook. Set the hook. You're on. There you go. There you go, Dustin.
He's off. He's off.
It came off. Came off. So I think that was my first fish, and I think we got Michael set up at the front of the boat with his own system. Michael is Tackle to the People. He's a friend of ours, and he had come down to put this thing for the test. Michael dropped down to bottom and actually hooked a grunt. While he was bringing up that grunt and still pretty close to the bottom, it got absolutely smoked by a grouper.
All right, we're going down.
Michael.
Yo.
Light drag, full front.
No, but you're not gonna get a good hook set. I think we're losing fish because they're not setting the hook good. Fair.
Is that the grunt? Oh yeah, I can just watch.
Whoa! Oh, I got a grouper. Oh! Yo, we're tight. The drag is so light. No, it's gonna break. It's gonna break. Yeah.
Stop, don't get in. One down. Stop, lift up.
Yeah, he's caught.
In the bottom?
Yeah. You know, there wasn't much he could do, and these grouper, of course, they just take you right under the rocks, and that's exactly what happened. So the grunt gets smoked, grouper runs under the rocks, and we break off the leader.
But if we had good drag,
You can't get in any earlier.
if we had good drag, that fish would have been caught.
You were super light. I could.
Bro, I mean,
We heard it.
you heard it.
Wow.
That's
I'm not sure that fish knew he was.
That's the drag that you give to like a kid with a freaking closed bail.
So we had identified, we had this bug in the system, in the connector. You can't put too much pressure on it, and we felt good about that. It was good. We had identified this problem, and even there on the boat, we knew what the fix was, and we knew we'd be able to fix it. But getting back to goal number one, can it catch a fish? That was still a question mark, right? So we tried a few times. We hooked 3 or 4 of these grouper. Same thing happened every time.
What's that? That's a grouper. Here he comes, Oh, we got it. I got him.
Look, lift. Wind down. There you go. Lift. Wind down.
He's on the grunt.
So, just lift. Wind down, get him. We're gonna catch him.
He's under.
Oh, the grouper's gonna try to eat him. I mean, the shark's gonna try to eat him.
I think anybody who's caught these fish will understand if you can't put any heat on them, if you can't horse them out of the rocks, you don't have much of a chance because the grouper they dive under as fast as possible.
Sandy bottom. Here, pretty closer to you. Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you. There you go. The wrist strap's the way to go. That's pretty nice.
Kind of like Tony Stark Iron Man vibes when you're fishing.
But cooler,
Yeah.
Outdoorsman, outdoorsman Iron.
Yeah.
Parrotfish are just nomming on the back of this guy.
Those parrotfish are
See that?
vicious.
Alright, so this hatch?
Yes. This one.
Oh, that hatch. Gotcha.
Trying to get this one?
Yeah.
No! You popped off. What was it? I got a black grouper. Yeah.
So we had some time left on the charter. We had a few hours left, so we decided let's use that time effectively. Let's try another method of fishing that we think will work really well with RV1. Let's go trolling, right? Very common way to fish in Florida to catch everything from wahoo to sailfish to blackfin tuna. Everybody trolls.
Every time it measures, like it's low on calcium, it'll add some calcium. Auto dispense. It'll add some calcium. And then it'll, say the pH gets a little bit too low, it'll add, add some buffer, like reef buffer. And it just,
Fish is on it. Something's swimming behind it.
something's chasing.
Whoa!
Come on.
Was that Cuda?
Yeah, another Cuda.
Sure it was a Cuda or was it a Mac?
Could have been a Mac.
That's a Cuda.
Yeah.
He's on.
He's on!
No, that's a wahoo.
That was a wahoo?
Dude, that was a wahoo, dude.
People flame me on noise.
Dude, it's Asian people say
It smells.
We're on. No, somebody's
I think it was a tuna.
Dude, it looked pelagic.
It was a bonita or something.
That looked, I think it was bonita. Dude, that looked
Probably gonna
pelagic.
go for my long one. I got one.
Because me and you jumped.
yeah.
I heard crash. I was like,
Dude, that looked pelagic as hell.
Came slamming it. Big eyes, hardtail.
Dude,
It's probably in this depth. It's probably a blackfin.
Yeah, blackfin.
Well,
tuna.
probably even
Yeah,
sailfish will probably swim on this shit.
No, that was pelagic.
Out here, we'll probably see the sailfish.
That was a little toony.
that was black.
Was your recording up there?
No!
We're not gonna get it all.
And so we had a lot of fun trolling. We got a couple hits from a wahoo and I think from a little blackfin tuna, but we didn't hook up and so we didn't land any of these fish. So we went home for the day with our work cut out for us. We had to repair some connectors.
I mean, I was gonna UV glue those solder joints too.
Yeah, you want to.
I just figured I'd test it real quick before we did that.
So just like that. Okay. So how we want.
You wanna hold it?
Sure. I'll plug it in.
Plug it in.
Excellent.
Looks good to me. Okay. Seal it.
Let's do it.
And we changed the plan a little bit for day 2 because we realized with this connector issue, we're not gonna be able to land any of these big black grouper. We need to target some smaller fish. Let's fast forward the plans and let's go to bridge fishing. You know, certainly a lot of our potential customer base is gonna be non-boat owners, right? They're gonna be fishing from bridges, piers, from shore, and we wanted to put it to the test in that environment. So we set up Michael and Albert with a unit, and they went out unsupervised without us to a very popular spot. They had an interesting day.
Do you think there's other people using this?
So we might do everyone a favor and just tell them, hey, bud, I'm not seeing any fish where you're fishing, so.
Is that rude? Imagine we would just like throw a camera down and we're just like, yeah, there's no fish, you should move, buddy.
Sorry, bud. Oh, there's a snapper. Oh.
So we sent Michael and Albert into the wilderness of Key West with nothing but an RV1 and some bait. I mean, they didn't even have a pier net, and we wish them well and hope for the best.
All right, connect to the Wi-Fi. Got a green light on the RV1. Wi-Fi is right there, connected. Now we're gonna open up the app. And we got a view. Let's go. All right, guys.
Got a chunk of value, chunk of shrimp.
First drop. Already at bottom. Oh, we got something checking out.
And so they found this school of fish, they started getting some bites, but they weren't hooking them until finally they hooked into some kind of fish.
Oh, those are like angelfish or something. It's a big grunt. I don't know what that is. No, it's like, it almost looks like a triple tail. No, it's not. It's something else. And it's picking at my bait right now. There's a big grunt. Come on, get it, you grunt. Got one. Got one. Oh yeah.
They actually didn't know what it was because they're New Englanders and they're down here in Florida in a different environment, but they knew they had hooked into a fish that, you know, in their opinion was going to be too heavy to lift up out of the water.
Look at that.
Oh, dude, what is that?
I don't know, is that a permit?
No, it's not. That is gigantic. How are we gonna get this thing?
I have no clue.
You know, I also think they were kind of taking it easy on the gear as our guests. They didn't want to come home and tell me that they had broken this prototype. So they started searching, they started walking down the pier trying to find somebody that had a net that they could borrow.
Do you have a dip net we could use? Okay, thank you. Yeah, yep.
You can with this line. It's special line.
Yeah, he has one. Hey, do you have a net we could borrow? Do you have a little dip net we could borrow? Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Awesome, thanks.
And so while they're hooked into this fish and looking for a net, this kind of serendipitous moment happened where this guy came by. He realized they were in need of a net and was actually very interested in the gear itself and the technology. And so it really enabled us to explore goal number 3. Will fishermen use this with this guy?
It's an electric fishing line. Electrical. It's got current running through it, so we can't just pull it up. It'll shred the line.
Yeah, that's not
That, trust me, bro. It's like a very expensive system we're prototyping. The drag's super light too, so.
You know what that is?
It's a fishable flip. That's what that is.
I just don't want to get yelled at by this company. You feel me?
$5,000 camera.
Yeah.
So I get $400 out of that?
What is that?
Corgi.
You want them?
I'll take it. Sure.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
So I was really encouraged by this interaction because we put it on social media, and it's one of our top videos of all time. And I think the reason for that is he is really representative of so many of our potential customers who don't really understand what this is, but as you start to teach them what's going on, they're really, really excited about it and really, really curious.
What's going on here?
All right, so this is so this is a company called Real View Fishing. All right, they invented an electrical fishing line that runs current to a camera that gives you a live feed on, so you can watch it literally as you're fishing. So the way I just caught this guy is I threw some shrimp down and I could see the second a fish bit my bait, and I set the hook not based off of the feeling, but off of what I saw. Because if you go just based off the feeling,
What kind of hook are you using?
just a little tiny like number 6 J hook, number 4 J hook or something.
Oh yeah, okay.
But hey,
You know, it was a very encouraging moment for me. Sort of ticked the box on goal number 3. Will fishermen, actual fishermen, use this technology? So that was cool.
What, for this rig? Prototypes are coming up with it. It's like literally not even a monkey yet.
little fluger setup.
Sounds like it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you live it
yeah.
up to your f***ing phone.
Yeah, little ugly stick, you know, action.
Yeah,
But I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, man, anytime. It's
Yeah,
here.
sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds
Hey,
good.
Alan Hernandez. Shout out. No, fuck it.
So eventually Chris and I got there and met up with Michael and Albert. We brought some fresh bait. We brought some bottled water because it was very hot. And these guys were really starting to get the hang of it, and we were starting to land some fish.
Pretty good. Lots to see. Lots of puffer fish making our shrimp apart. Got a couple glimpses of something much bigger. Everything's working really nicely, and I'm actually really surprised how much you can see, because looking at the water, it doesn't look that clear, but as soon as you get down, you can see everything.
That big one I've been trying to eat this whole time. They like the dead shrimp good, but they have to eat it all the way, and it's hard. Their mouths are really small. They like take bits and bite little bites out of it, so they don't really eat the barb. You mind hitting that for me? Thank you. Oh, look at that big one. Went right up to the camera.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was it.
So another really cool thing that happened was they spotted this eel. So I think it was Michael fishing, and all of a sudden in the corner of the frame, he sees this moray eel come out.
That's an eel, dude. No, that was the eel. That was the eel.
And so the moment with the eel was really cool, right? It was a cool moment for the technology, because without the technology, you never would have known that this had happened. And although you didn't catch the eel or even see the eel with your eyes, you saw it with the camera, and now you're able to go back and relive that moment and enjoy it again.
Dude, that looks like a baby hogfish, I swear. On. Is it? I think it's a snapper.
We did it.
Great job, guys. Species that we actually want.
Hi guys, mango snapper on the eLine on the RB1. That was pretty sick.
On. Yeah? Oh yeah, he's so blue, dude. He's so blue.
Clutch.
Clutch, dude. Clutch. You wanna record me? Let's go. Parrotfish. I mean, part of the reason why these guys were so difficult to hook, look at how their mouth looks. I mean, that's what they're doing to take chomps of our shrimp. So they took so many bites of our shrimp, stole so many baits, but we finally were able to hook one. Look at how cool and weird looking that fish is. Almost looks like a koi. It's so interesting. Those are those little chompers.
We really got dialed in and got the hang of it, and we had a great day. Everybody caught a lot of fish. You know, we just had a blast out there.
Got him. Got him. Wow.
Oh, another parrotfish.
Yeah, gold parrotfish. I got the shiny.
Look at that thing. That thing's so cool.
This thing looks like it belongs to like a fish tank.
On the RV. See ya.
Thank you guys.
What do you think?
That was flawless.
That was cool. It was cool to watch come up. Just ate it and just hit that hook.
So it wasn't off of feel, it was off of sight.
Couldn't feel it at all.
Yeah.
And there's actually a lot of stuff down there. Can't wait to watch the video again, but there's like 6 fish coming at it. Just have to get that one.
So at this point, you know, we had really, in my mind, we had achieved our 3 goals, right? We caught a fish, we discovered a bug that we needed to go home and fix, and we had really had some good interaction with real fishermen, real potential customers, you know, that I thought was really, really positive. I thought we got really positive feedback, and, you know, it convinced me that yes, fishermen will use this product. So where are we now? So we've certainly taken everything we learned from that trip and incorporated it into the design. We've just taken receipt of a few dozen DVT prototypes. This is the final iteration of the product before you cut tooling, set up production lines, and take it to mass production, which we intend to do later this year. We're continuing to raise capital for the business through an equity crowdfunding round. If you go to invest.realviewfishing.com, you can make an investment there. Anybody can become a shareholder, and we've seen a lot of success there, which is super cool. A lot of people want to share in the upside, they want to support the business, and they're really excited to see this thing go towards mass production later this year so that we can start fulfilling orders before the end of 2025.
Really, you know, we went out there at first and they showed me the rod and how the wire works and everything and goes to the camera. And at first I was a little bit skeptical and I didn't really know how it was going to work or whatever, and a little weirded out by how the leader would connect, but we got it down there at first and I was really surprised. It was really cool, and it just really gives yourself a really good idea on how it is down there. You just never know. And me down here fishing for about 10 years now and thinking I know everything down there, and really you don't. And I really think the RV1 by RealView can definitely expand horizons on fishing down here in the Florida Keys and anywhere else. I think it's really awesome.